Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. Welcome aboard rather to another live show. And finally got everything in the studio tweaked, fixed the audio issues, fixed the network latency issues, and it's going to all be smooth sailing. So today we're going to have a lot of we're going to talk about a lot of interesting stuff, everything from the Osmo to some new cameras that have been recently announced, and want to gather everyone's feedback and remind everyone this is a live show. So if you're watching this on the 19th of January 2019 at approximately 11:52 a.m. New York City time, this is a live show. So anything that you type, I can see in real time, and we can interact in real time that way. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and get started here. I want to remind everyone I am an independent YouTube channel. So everything that you see on this channel is the product of my own motivation, I guess you would say. So, if you want to support my channel, there's a lot of ways to do that. Again, it's not required, but it is appreciated. You can check the section below this video. You can expand that. You can find out how to support me on Patreon. You can do a super chat. There's a lot of other ways you can choose to support my channel, even if it's just as simple as commenting and liking this video, sharing with others, subscribing to my channel. That helps. Again, being an independent YouTuber, I really need everyone's help. See a lot of people already tuning in here. We've got Nate Sarag. Howdy, IrixGuy. You're looking slimmer. Yeah, and I appreciate that. One of the biggest recent initiatives for IrixGuy's Adventure Channel is Weight Loss Unscripted. And you can go to weightlossunscripted.com. You can go to Weight Loss Unscripted on Facebook, and you can find it all there. And what it is, it's an approach that I've been taking personally. And again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a dietitian. I'm not a personal trainer. But it's an approach that I've been taking recently to eat less unhealthy food. And I'm not trying to make it a diet. A lot of people say, well, you got to do this, you got to buy that, you got to spend all this money to attempt to lose weight. And the bottom line is that, people should try to find what works best for them. And what works well for me may not work well for you. Heck, it may even be dangerous. So, with that being said, I've been experimenting with a lot of different things, trying to thin down. And, I appreciate that. I'm trying to get less fat. And again, I'm not trying to spin it like, oh, this is a diet or this is a hardcore gym routine or anything like that. I'm not looking at it from that perspective. I'm just looking at it from the perspective of, hey, let's get less fat. And that's what Weight Loss Unscripted is all about. So, yeah, I appreciate that. It takes a lot of effort. Got a lot of people tuning in here. We've got Tamara says, where is Sean? Sean Cooney. Sean Cooney currently is taking a nap, but I'll be sure to bring him over here on the set. Actually, let me just go ahead and do that because he's going to be irritated anyway, whether I wait or get him now. Sean Cooney. Excuse me, sir. Yep, he said he did not appreciate being interrupted, but this is Sean Cooney, the enormous Maine Coon cat. Brought him on camera here because Tamara said, where is Sean? And here is Sean Cooney. Hello, Tamara. How are you doing? I hope you have a perfect day. Thanks for tuning in to the live show. There you go, sir. Yeah, he said he's got to go back to his sleeping area because he is worn out. He said being a YouTube celebrity cat is not easy. So we've got Brad says Saturday afternoon live. Hey, that's a great thing to call it, man. Right here it's about it's almost noon on the East Coast in the United States of America. So with that being said, this is Tamara got my thumbs up. Cool. Sean Cooney he said he had to pause for a moment and personally thank you Tamara and all the viewers for your viewership. And he's got a lot of new content coming out on Monday. # Maine Coon Mondays. If you haven't tuned in, just go to SeanCooney.com and you can find it all there. Brad says, do you know Bill the Drone? Yeah, there's there's so many drone channels out there, and one of the things, like, being a YouTuber, it's kind of whoa, there he is. Being a YouTuber and creating the content, editing the content, publishing the content, all while concurrently managing multiple professional obligations and taking care of Sean Cooney, the enormous Maine Coon cat. There's only so many hours in a day for me, and it's kind of weird. I don't really like. I hardly ever watch, and this sounds bad being a YouTuber, but I hardly ever watch YouTube videos. The only exception is if there's something brand new that's come out, and I check out some information online that I may not have hands-on access to that yet, but that's one of the times I'll do that. But yeah, I don't really watch a lot of YouTube videos. I love YouTube, but I don't personally watch a lot of videos just because I'm a content creator, and that consumes all of my time. So Nate Sarag says, I miss Bubba, hope he is okay. So Bubba, if you're not familiar with the Drone Evangelist, and that's a segment on the channel that I've got to really revisit and bring back. But Bubba was one of the you got to watch. Just go to droneevangelist.com and watch all of the episodes, and you'll be able to find the story. And I've got to continue that. Brad says, do you follow any drone YouTubers? I mean, I've got that. Well, actually, there's two people that I follow. I follow STK's Adventure Channel. That's Summertime Ken. And I also follow GoPro Tabers. So those are the two channels that I follow, and those two individuals are people that I do every now and then. I do quite a bit of YouTube collaboration with. So from that perspective, we're often creating content and trying to better cross-pollinate our content. So those are two YouTubers that I really enjoy spending some quality time with. Dronelton says, greetings from Norway. Norway, very cool. That Icelandic area, I guess you would call it Icelandic area. That's a place that I want to go. I want to go to Iceland. I want to go to Sweden. I want to go to Norway. And I want to go to, well, it's not in that same area, but I want to go over to, to Germany and Switzerland. But those are, yeah, that's a really cool area, man. Thanks for tuning in all the way from Norway. Something of excitement this week is what I've got in my hand right here. And you've already seen, it's got cat fur on it, but you've already seen the Osmo Pocket. And, of course, this is the case that it comes in. But I finally got two of my first two accessories for this. So I'm going to pop it out of the case, and I'm going to show you how this works here. So I've got that on there now, which is just the placeholder. I call it the placeholder. It covers the data port on the Osmo Pocket. So then what I got, and this is super cool, and again, you can expand this video's description and then click the link there to find where to order it online. But this is an add-on, and basically what you do, you just pop it in, snaps right in, very easy to pop in, and that gives you a tactile control wheel. So when you're using Osmo Pocket in place of a drone, or maybe even to complement a lot of your drone videos, this is a way to create that similar, gimbal wheel down, or camera down, camera up while you're moving. So, a lot of if you do a lot of drone videography, probably some of the coolest shots that you're able to capture with the drone are the ones where you're moving forward or moving backwards, and you're concurrently controlling the camera, so it's tilting down or tilting up. It just gives it that really trippy looking effect. And with this wheel accessory for the Osmo Pocket, it makes capturing that same type of effect. Obviously, a handheld gimbal is not going to be as smooth as a flying gimbal attached to a drone, but you can still capture a very cool effect while you're hiking. Maybe you're riding a bicycle and a kayak, whatever. Being able to have this accessory is really cool. So that's one of the new things that I've got on there. Dronalton says Norway is the best country in the north. I promise you that. Yeah, it looks really cool, man. And all the snow and everything over there too. And then Nate's Rock says, do you ever see Phantom 5 coming out, or is that a thing of the past? You know, that's been a topic of discussion in the past, and you know, given the amount of time that has passed between the release of, let's see, what was it, the Phantom 4 Pro, and then they came out with some sort of paint job, what do they call it, the Phantom, the Platinum Edition, not Platinum, but Obsidian or something. So there really hasn't been a new Phantom released anytime recently. So, you know, there's two ways to look at this. One way to look at it would be, well, you know, there's Mavic 2 Pro out and Mavic 2 Zoom, and those are very top tier drones. I mean, the video quality is excellent, especially from the Mavic 2 Pro, and maybe they're wanting to give those drones time to breathe more, you know, time to sell more. It's you know, one of those things that having something smaller, more lightweight, more portable, I know at least for me, and I'm sure a lot of people share the same opinion. I mean, you know, looking back to the early camcorder days, you know, back when you had even for a consumer level camcorder, you had to have this huge thing, and you had to carry it around. You had these huge tapes and these huge batteries, and it just wasn't convenient. And the same thing with drones or any type of camera for that matter. You know, something smaller, more lightweight. That's one of the main reasons, aside from the awesome low light performance, that's one of the main reasons that that cameras like mirrorless cameras, like the Sony Alpha cameras that I use, why they've become so popular, because they're smaller, they're lighter, and they're more capable. You know, and for that reason, I don't really see, and I may be wrong. I mean, DJI, they're a brilliant group of engineers. You know, a lot of people often say, "Oh man, it's kind of like the Apple of drones, dude." Well, you know, looking at the products they release and just the attention to detail, I mean, it's the only DJI product that's disappointed me was the DJI Ronin S, and it just did not like my Sony A7 III. But I mean, they release really solid stuff. It's very well designed, and it performs exceptionally well. And to have a a drone that's larger, less convenient. I mean, it may be a situation where they're going to remodel. They're going to re-engineer the Phantom. You know, maybe they do something like that. Maybe it is a heavier drone, but maybe if they do release it and they do re-engineer it, maybe it packs down so that it's something that you know, that someone would consider, okay, well, I need to get Mavic Pro 2, or do I need to get the new Phantom 5? You know, they could make it to where it would be, you know, maybe there's a set of features that are available on the Phantom 5 that are not available on the Mavic 2 Pro, and it would be an incentive for someone to go with the Phantom 5 versus Mavic 2 Pro. But I mean, right now, I would think personally, if I was one of the engineers for DJI, what I would do, and I don't think the DJI Enterprise is it. I mean, that's a completely different animal. But what I would do is make a revised version of the Mavic 2, and I would make the camera user replaceable. You know, maybe put some thumb screw, not necessarily thumb screws, but some sort of easy to remove, easy to reattach type of screw, so that the end user can easily swap the camera out. Because with Mavic 2, if you're not familiar with it already, Mavic 2 has the Pro and the Zoom. That camera can be swapped out. The drone itself is the same, but they don't make it to where it's, you know, easy for your standard end user to do it. And I think if they did that, they would really see an increase in sales, not just for the not just for the Mavic 2 itself, but also the cameras that can attach. And if I was DJI, what I would do is I would rethink my business model. What I would do, I would say, okay, the drone itself is equal to a camera body. You know, it's just the main brains. It's what everything attaches to. So you've got the drone, which is treated as a separate animal, and then you've got the accessory. So one accessory would be the camera. Okay, you buy the drone. Which camera or cameras do you choose to purchase for that drone? You know, then they get into a situation where the user can purchase the drone body, the camera body, and then they can add whatever lenses or, you know, camera options they want to add to it. and I think that would be really cool. And then opening up the possibility to add other modular type accessories would be neat as well. But I don't know. I mean, Phantom 5. I don't know if we're gonna see it. I really don't know if we're gonna see a Phantom 5, and I can't really say that I'm excited about seeing a Phantom 5 because I mean the Mavic 2 platform has impressed me so much, and obviously there's always got to be, one should always question what's next. But I mean, right now I think with the Mavic 2 they've released something really solid. Now, I do feel that if they could provide us with a way to recharge Mavic 2 batteries by way of USB-C, that would be a huge convenience. And I really like the let's see here. Droneton says, can you make some tutorials for drone filming? I have Mavic Air. Actually, that's on my to-do list. I've got quite a few. Check out my Mavic Air playlist on my channel, but that's something I want to put a lot more content out for, not just the actual filming and the techniques while flying, but then the post-production techniques that I use to better spice up the videos after I finish flying and after I've downloaded them. But this thing right here is really cool. This, and you can find it too, just expand this video's description and click the link there. This is a mount for the Osmo Pocket that enables people to attach it to other things. And if you look at this real closely, and it makes one wonder, how did they get away with that design? That mount is, I'll show you here in a second. So I took my control wheel off, and then I'm going to put the little placeholder plug back in here. And then after I do that, I can attach the little mount thing here. So it just goes on, this goes down, and that comes back. So now you've got your Osmo Pocket, but look at the back. Doesn't that look just like a GoPro mount? How did they do that? How did they get away with that? I don't know. But here's one of my many old GoPro mounts. This is an old GoPro suction mount. I've had this thing for probably, I'd have to look back at a calendar, maybe 10 years. I got it when I got my GoPro Hero 2. That's how long it's been. But curiously enough, I don't want to drop this on my laptop. Got to line it up here. But curiously enough, that pops right in, and now I have attached my Osmo Pocket to one of my many GoPro mounts that I've had for a long time. So now we've got a whole new realm of possibilities that have been opened, because we've got a current model camera with a mechanical gimbal that can attach to existing mounts that many of y'all, including myself, probably have tons of GoPro mounts that conveniently. But it's mechanically gimbal stabilized video, so we're not dealing with software stabilized video. So this is going to be really cool. Now I don't, at the time of hosting this live show, rather, I don't have the waterproof housing, so of course I could not take this underwater because this is not waterproof. But it's going to be interesting to see, once the waterproof housing becomes available, what all can I do with the Osmo Pocket then? Osmo Pocket is one of the things that DJI's released recently that has really made me question, what's going to be next from them, and I really like this, and like any other new technology that comes out, we're just starting to see the accessories, and obviously I have them all on my website. Let's see. Brad says, can you mount that accessory upside down? Can you add a control wheel to it as well? So when it's in the, I haven't personally inverted the video or flipped the video for the Osmo Pocket, but I need to check to see if that option is available within settings. That's a great question. And then can you add the control wheel as well? So when it's in the case, when I say case, I don't mean case, I mean this mount. So see, I've got it attached to the GoPro mount right now. And let me take this out So now there it is with the Osmo mount. But unfortunately, and see, that's an area for improvement, I think. See, I can't, with the mount attached, I don't have access to the control wheel. Let's pop this off here. So see, this just pops off like so. And now I've got the Osmo Pocket just without, without the mount attached. And when it's like this, then I can attach the control wheel. Like I demonstrated previously, I just pop the little protect dust cover, whatever you want to call it, off, and then I pop in the control wheel. But when I have the control wheel attached, I mean, I guess maybe I could put it down there. Let's see if this will work. Let's just see what will happen here. Now the thing is, though, I'm covering up. No, that's not going to work. It's too fat. And see, I think that's an opportunity for improvement. But think about it, though. If you're using the control wheel, you're going to need the control wheel in your hand. So if you've got it mounted, the control wheel wouldn't. I mean, for example, with this example using suction cup mount, if I'm using suction cup mount, obviously I'm not going to be on the hood of my car or my truck while it's filming. So I wouldn't have access to the control wheel. So that would be a situation where, maybe they're going to release some sort of remotely operated control wheel. Maybe you just use your app interface by way of some sort of wireless technology. I mean, there's a lot of questions here, surrounding this. But I'm super stoked that I have the mount now, and also the control wheel when I'm not using it in a mounted fashion. So that's kind of neat. More questions coming in here. Are you on a Caribbean beach right now? So this beach actually is this is Turks and Caicos. It's an island in Turks and Caicos called Providenciales, and it's Grace Bay. If you Google Grace Bay is arguably one of the most popular beaches, if not the most popular beach in Turks and Caicos, TCI. Really good, typically really calm water. You can just get out there and float around. A lot of different colors in the water. Very soft, white sand. Turks and Caicos are they're very flat islands, and actually when they have hurricanes and stuff, they don't really have anywhere to go. A lot of times, if there's bad weather approaching, people often fly to a close by island such as Jamaica or whatever to wait out the bad weather. So let's see. Brian says, have you experienced the DJI Smart Controller yet? I have the Mavic 2 Zoom, and I'm thinking about getting one. I've seen it, but it's one of those deals that it's priced, in my opinion, it's priced through the stratosphere. And I mean, I'm all about, if there's a new piece of tech out there that I feel adds significant value, I'm all about picking it up and giving it a whirl. But for that price point, just to have a screen, I mean, for that price point, I'll continue to use my Mavic 2 controller. The controller comes with my Mavic 2 in conjunction with my iPhone. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice if I had the screen and all of that built in. That would be a nice luxury to have. But it's that price to me. I mean, that's just, to me, that that's a great illustration of how zero competition enables a company to charge astronomical prices. I think that the controller with integrated screen is, that's steep. Just for the controller, that is super steep. But again, everybody, everybody can have their own opinion about that, of course. And if you're looking for it, check out my website, IrixGuy.com, and you can find a link to the DJI Smart Controller there. So, you know, it's I'm sure it's probably, you know, since it's manufactured by DJI, I'm assuming it's probably top quality, like most everything they produce. But yeah, it's not a personal interest to me. I mean, I could possibly see, for a controller like that, I could possibly see somewhere in the neighborhood of the $200 to, on the high end, maybe $300 US dollar mark. But for the price that it's being offered at right now, I can't, I couldn't see that. You know, it's one of those things you look at. There's something called cost-benefit analysis. So, you know, anytime that someone is on the fence about a new product or service, you know, a great way to look at that is using a technique called cost-benefit analysis. So, you know, in this scenario, the cost, you know, whatever the cost is, you know, you can check out my website, you can find the current pricing there. But then the benefit, you know, what is the benefit of incurring that cost? Well, you know, the obvious benefit is that you get a really nice integrated screen. You know, to take that to the next level, well, you know, the quality of that screen, even while viewing in direct sunlight or strong sunlight conditions, it may be a better experience than using an iPhone or an Android with your Mavic 2 controller. And then in addition to that, you know, you're not tying up your cell phone. You know, even when you're flying a drone, you know, like the Mavic 2 with your Android or your iOS device, and even though you're in airplane mode, you're still consuming your phone's battery. So after you finish flying, depending upon how many flights you flew, you may find that your smartphone is low on battery life. And you may say, oh, I forgot to bring my USB battery bank. So potentially you're without a smartphone until it recharges because you were using it to fly your drone. So, you know, that's value added to the DJI Smart Controller, because, you know, it's a dedicated device being used to behave as a controlling interface for your Mavic 2, you know, and a screen for your Mavic 2. So, you know, and it's but just again, back to cost benefit analysis. I mean, I see that there is value added there. There's definitely value added, but is it worth the price that one has to pay for that experience? And again, that's, you know, everybody's subject to your own opinion, and I respect everyone's opinion. But, you know, for me, that's too much cost for too little reward. I mean, there's not. Now, you know, if DJI wanted to play dirty and they wanted to force their customers into a solution like that, you know, they could potentially disallow attaching third-party devices. You know, they could say, oh, we're not going to allow you to use your iPhone, or we're not going to allow you to use your Android phone. Therefore, you're locked into, you know, to purchasing our brand of screen to control your drone. So from that perspective, if they wanted to play dirty, they could lock people into doing this. And see, that's the thing with DJI. I mean, I know there's other people out there that manufacture drones, but there's no serious competition for DJI. It would be hard for anyone to say that there is. I mean, there's several companies that manufacture drones, but I mean, DJI is a dominant player. So if they wanted to retool their business model, if they wanted to really lock people in to using their equipment, they could, and that wouldn't just have to be the screen. I mean, they could go as far as saying, hey, you know, we're not going to allow these USB-C style cables anymore. You know, we're going to put something proprietary on the drone end that you can only buy the cable from us that'll allow you to sync it with your computer, to download your photos and or videos to your computer. You know, they could create some sort of proprietary storage medium. You know, we're not going to let you use micro SD card. We're going to use, you know, DJI invented whatever to lock people into buying their type of storage card. I mean, they could definitely play dirty because they do have a monopoly of sorts, and they could play dirty if they chose to do so. But I wouldn't think they would want to do that. And, you know, that circles back to a question here. Let's see, where was this? I'm scrolling up here. There was know it is. Or maybe I'm seeing things. I don't know. Thought there was a question up here about something. I don't know. I'm not seeing it. But, oh yeah, and check this out. I've got, it's a super chat. There should be a super chat option within this live show now. If you choose to do so, check that out. I know that YouTube's really been promoting the super chat feature that my channel should now be eligible for. So if you see super chat and you want to click it, and it's up to you. Check it out if you want to, but it's supposed to be pretty cool. So yeah, Osmo Pocket again, really shaping up to be a full-fledged GoPro competitor. And again, going with that mechanical gimbal versus software stabilization for video is a huge edge against GoPro. So I think that the DJI is definitely heading in the right direction. But with the uncertainties about the Phantom, are they going to discontinue the Phantom line? How is DJI going to morph during 2019 and beyond? And I'm not one to speculate, but I'll go ahead and speculate. And what I'm going to speculate is that during 2019, we're probably going to see a very slow year, unless someone steps up to the plate and tries to compete with DJI. Last year I think we got more last year than we expected from DJI, and that was due primarily to serious competitors, or serious wannabe competitors like Parrot. I mean, Parrot came out with a Nafi. I'll admit a Nafi was cool, but looking at a Nafi in hand, in studio, in the field, and really dissecting the various aspects of it in comparison to a comparable DJI drone, there were just too many things that just weren't there. But there were a lot of things that were done really well, and I feel that DJI, or Parrot rather, releasing the Nafi really really pushed DJI into putting out some really cool stuff like the Mavic 2. So I'm hoping that we get something in 2019 similar to that that encourages DJI to go to the next level, because it's like one of those things. If you're sitting at a let's just put together a good analogy here. If you're sitting in an all-you-can-eat buffet and there's everything you want on the buffet and there's not a lot of people in there, but it's still really good food, you just sit around and eat as long as you want to, and you'll be happy. It's kind of the same deal with DJI, because they've got all this great stuff out there now. They got Mavic 2, they've got now they've got the Osmo Pocket. So they're just sitting there and they're like, well, we're selling all of this, and we've got great stuff and people are gobbling it up. Why do we need to put something else out on the buffet? But see, in this scenario, if you have another company that opens a restaurant next door that has a better buffet, maybe your buffet just has chicken wings and hamburgers, but maybe the buffet next door has snow crab, fresh raw oysters from Apalachicola, and a lot of other high-end stuff, and they charge the same price. If you're looking at, well, I can eat cheeseburgers and chicken wings, which I love cheeseburgers and chicken wings, or I can eat raw oysters and snow crab, I'm probably going to go to the raw oysters and snow crab if I'm paying the same price. But see, that's what creates price wars. So, in the case of two buffet style restaurants side by side, then they start trying to outdo each other. So you may see the chicken wing joint, they may add a food item that that trumps the seafood buffet next door, and vice versa. So it's I don't know. It's one of those. We need competition. I mean, that's the bottom line. DJI needs serious competition. Brian says Nafi build quality wasn't as good as DJI drone. That was my biggest complaint with a Nafi. From my personal experience, the major problem I had was that micro SD cards would not format properly. The micro SD card that came with it did format properly. It performed well. But anything else I tried to format, whether it was from a Windows PC, a Linux PC, a Mac, regardless of memory card brand, it just would not work properly with the Parrot Anafi. But like you mentioned, the build quality was not as good. Where I really had a build quality concern with Anafi, and of course the spin on this is that, well, you know, it's a quieter drone, and that's why we did it. My biggest complaint with Anafi was the you know, the propellers. They were almost, I mean, I'm sure they weren't paper thin, but they felt as if they were almost paper thin. So my thought there was that, you know, if this thing does strike a large bug during flight, you know, maybe a bee or something like that, these propellers break, you know, I've lost the drone, potentially. So, and then also just from repeat use, you know, how well are those propellers going to hold up in comparison to a DJI that just has, historically has had really exceptional build quality. So, you know, those were two of the biggest complaints with Anafi. And then also with the Anafi is that you get the app, and then they're like, well, if you want to do this, you got to pay for this. There's in-app purchases. That's garbage. Don't put in-app purchases in an app that controls a drone. That's lame. I mean, in my opinion, that's lame. Yeah, Brian says, my brother has an Anafi. He says this is a good drone, but cheap feel. Yeah, it is. It is, and I will say it was a good drone. I mean, and being able to zoom in and zoom out was cool. Now, obviously, the camera quality is not as good as the Mavic 2 Pro, or not as good as the Mavic 2 Zoom, but you know, it was a pretty good experience, and it, you know, it had the advantage that when you popped it out and you're around people in a safe and responsible location, people often saw the Anafi and they're like, oh, what are you doing flying a toy? You know, they assumed it was a toy, and it's not a toy, it's an aircraft, but it didn't have that, it had a less intimidating look and feel to it, and that's an advantage in a lot of areas where you've got crazy people that think drones are a bad thing, and that people that are enjoying the drone hobby are bad people. So, you know, that was that was a huge positive. But yeah, we've got a lot of you know, just it's going to be, 2019 is going to be an interesting year, and I'm excited about the drones in 2019. Hopefully, we get some more rapid innovation. You know, maybe we do see a Phantom 5, and you know, hopefully we see a big competitor. A wannabe competitor pop up. I mean, I would love to see Apple. I would love to see Google. I'd love to see Microsoft. You know, someone of that caliber step up and try to compete with DJI. You know, someone with enough disposable cash to really hire a rock-solid team of engineers to develop something to try to dethrone DJI, because I think that'll bring us a lot of rapid innovation when and if that does happen. And again, it still pains me to this day that GoPro failed. I mean, not only did GoPro fail, but they just said, "Oh, we rushed this out. We released it. It was recalled, and now we don't even care about drones anymore." I mean, they've abandoned the drone business, and that's such a shame, because I firmly feel that if GoPro had not gone public, you know, if GoPro had remained a private entity, and their actions were not dictated by the street, Wall Street, I think they could have done exceptionally well. When they entered the drone game, had they entered the drone game in a slow and controlled process, and they didn't. So that was super disappointing, and I'm sure that their CEO Nick Woodman is cruising around in his yacht right now. It's like, man, I messed up with the drone, dude. He probably doesn't care anymore. He's made his billions. So yeah, is that likely as the rules and regulations are getting worse? Well, you know, I mean, that's one of those things. I mean, if people were afraid to enter the drone arena, it could be something related to that. I mean, if you've got, let's just think of a good analogy here. Let's just say you're in the candy business and you sell some sort of candy, and then it's determined that one of the components in your candy may cause some sort of weird disease or something, but maybe it's not in your. I mean, that would be a hard industry to want to enter if you were a candy manufacturer and want to make a similar candy. I mean, that, number one, the uncertainties there with it possibly causing a disease, that's going to deter people from wanting to get involved with the business. And even if it's proven that it won't, just that stigma that's been created. And even though if, say they developed a candy that was completely safe and didn't use any of the same or similar ingredients, the consumer would probably still have that that mentality that, man, 10 years ago, like 5,000 people dropped dead when they ate this candy. I don't know if I want to try a similar candy, even though it's supposed to be safe. So, yeah, Sean Cooney's right here. He said he's stepping up. He said, "You can see me." He said he heard his name being mentioned. So there he is, Sean Cooney, the big Maine Coon cat. He participates in every live show because that's what he does. He's a busy, big Maine Coon cat, the most famous cat in the world. Yep. So he said he loves being on this show. So you can see his ears. There we go. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting 2019. So with that being said, just wanted to do a little quick show. Actually, one thing I need to do for the studio is I need to wire up I'm broadcasting now from a MacBook Pro. So I'm using it's obviously a laptop. So that's made things a little bit different. And I'm not plugged in because I'm just using the battery. And I tell you, this live streaming really sucks your battery. So I need to wire up my power adapter the next time. Actually, I just need to pick up another power adapter and use it exclusively for the green screen studio. So yeah, because that's why I'm cutting this show kind of short, because I'm down to 27% battery life. So with that being said, we're going to have a lot more live shows, and there's going to be a lot of excitement, especially surrounding this little thing right here, this Osmo Pocket. So if you haven't subscribed already, be sure to do so. It's youtube.com/IrixGuy. Like this video, ring that bell icon when you subscribe to be notified whenever I post another video. Feel free to support my channel if you choose to do so. You can expand this video's description, and then check the links there. I've got to support me on Patreon. You can choose to do that. You can check out the various links there if you're looking for drones, camera accessories. I've got links for that there. Any way that you choose to support the channel is obviously greatly appreciated, because I am an independent YouTuber. And your most simplistic form of support, just liking this video, commenting, sharing with others, spreading the IrixGuy's Adventure channel word with everyone. So, whether you're with friends, people you don't even know, maybe you're in a restaurant and you create some sort of flash mob and say, hey, subscribe to IrixGuy's Adventure channel, and you hold up the URL or whatever, youtube.com/IrixGuy. However you may choose to do it, that stuff helps. So most importantly, be safe with your drones, have fun, and stay tuned, because 2019 is going to be one of the best years yet for IrixGuy's Adventure channel. So with that being said, I appreciate your viewership, and y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe, like, and share. It's viewers like you that enable my channel to continue to grow. Thank you.